Hey, Bubbles. Do you want to watch a TV show?
Sure, what you thinking?
I think it's about time that I introduce to you Star Trek. It's a lovely, kind-spirited show filled with optimism and hope for society in the future. You can't be too young to watch Star Trek, I reckon.
How young were you?
I was about 14 when Uncle Paulie introduced it to me.
I'm 14.
Well, then you're definitely ready. But which one should we watch first? You've got the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Enterprise, Discovery, or Picard?
What was the last one?
Picard. Brilliant. Okay, look, it's set in the future where, there's world peace, a utopian society, you've got spaceships and mean aliens, and we get to see where one of our most well-established and most beloved starship captains of, 170 episodes and about 4 feature films, we get to see where he ends up.
And?
Well, he's an old man now, moping in his vineyard on his beautiful estate while, his ex-NRA, ex-Romulan live-in housekeeper and gardener, they fuss over him.
Is he rich?
Is he rich? No. Well, humans in the future have abandoned their desire for the acquisition of wealth and material possessions. But I guess the entire grove is his, and he has staff working for him, taking his orders, so I don't know, maybe? It's a bit unclear.
Ah.
And look, from what we can tell, he has no friends.
Wasn't he beloved?
Well, you see, grumpy old men tend to push people away when they don't get their way. And now Picard is a grumpy old man. But I think maybe the show is trying to highlight the fact that he actually always was a grumpy old man, even when he wasn't an old man. But then again, he always looked like an old man because of early onset baldness. I don't know, you following me?
Yeah.
Great. So, anyway, he meets a young woman, Daj, who is surprised to find out that she is actually a robot.
What?
And robots are illegal these days, even ones that can prove their sentience.
I thought you said they had world peace.
That's true. But, if the story didn't betray everything that this series for the past 50 years had established, including the series finale of The Next Generation, well then the writers would have actually had to think of a story rather than, just throw in typewriters at stacks of paper. This is easier.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. So, robots are outlawed, she's on the run from the law, and from these naughty aliens who want to kill all robots. And somebody programmed her to find Picard so that he could keep her safe.
Does she find him? Does he keep her safe?
Well, by a miracle of coincidence, she finds him. And no, she immediately gets killed.
Ah, he didn't do a very good job.
He didn't. But it's okay because she had a twin sister. So, we can forget that she even existed. So now Picard has to find this twin sister and keep her safe too.
He couldn't keep Raj safe.
No, but, he figures he'll try again.
Is the twin looking for him?
No, she wasn't programmed to.
Why not?
Well, because it wouldn't be Star Trek without these sorts of awesome, forced, convenient plot points driving the story.
Do his friends help? Well,
he needs a spaceship first, so he goes looking for one, but the Admiral of the Federation he used to work for tells him, to f*** off, and his only other friend with a ship points a gun at him.
Why not ask his old friends?
Not really sure, baby.
Because he's a grumpy old man?
Probably. He must have a list of captains and people in authority and entire alien civilizations that owe their lives to him that he could call on, but I guess he just doesn't really want to bother them. Oh, and as they establish at the end of the show, one of his closest friends has access to an entire armada of the most powerful ships in the galaxy at the snap of his fingers. But, Picard doesn't even elicit his help.
He sounds amazing.
He is.
Does he find the twin?
Not at first. A doctor tells him that he's about to die of some brain thing, and the naughty Romulans have a head start on finding this twin, so, boy, is he up against the clock. But luckily the person who hated him enough to want to shoot him before decides to help him instead. So, the story continues.
That was lucky.
It was. So he flies off in this new ship with this rough lone wolf pilot, a drunk on operations, and this young woman who is also the leading scientist in robotics and cybernetics who, never actually does anything in her field but go, wow, every time that she sees a robot and die when she, sees her helpless boyfriend.
Sure.
So, instead of looking for the twin using his vast galactic network, he flies to a Romulan refugee planet and hires some young dude from a bunch of nun-assassins so that, this young warrior can fight evil laser gun carrying Romulans with a sword and fly kicks.
Cool.
He is cool. Oh, and his New Zealand accent is so thick in it, it successfully disguises the fact that, he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. So, after Picard plays dress-ups on a space station for a little while, they find the twin on an alien spaceship full of different cybernetic beings.
So many robots.
There is. So he takes her to her home planet to be with her robot brothers and sisters, and she almost immediately sets to work, ending all life in the galaxy.
What?
Yeah. Kind of turns out that the evil Romulans, they were right after all.
Well, I'll be.
So, giant space flowers forcing the crash land on the planet, stranding them while naughty Romulans and evil robots are bearing down on them. In the earlier series, they actually had to use, real science terms to get themselves out of trouble. Now, all they have to do is just hold a small plastic toy and use their imagination, and everything is fixed.
That's convenient.
No, it's not. But Picard makes a big speech and everything works out at the last second.
Good.
And then he dies.
But because of his brain thing?
You got it.
They should turn him into a robot.
Funny you should mention that. But look, I don't want to give too much away, so, hey, do you want to watch it with me?
Nah, it's okay.
You're probably right. Look, why don't we watch Deep Space Nine instead? I mean, it's arguably the best.
Thanks, Daddy. I love Deep Space Nine.
Good kid. What?
What?
No, look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Look
Look at me. Look at me. No, normal voice. Go.
Did you hear that part? Daddy, I have a question.
Yeah?
So, I don't want to go to school without you going. So, how about I compromise? How about we go to the shops quickly and we eat a good donut, then we go to school really quickly without missing it?
That's not a bad idea, actually. We can do that, honey, but let's just get through this, okay?
Yes!
Alright?
Oh, this is how I speak. Amazing sometimes.
Okay, well,
Amazing sometimes.
sit up?
Amazing sometimes.
Okay, so, honey, we're not going to be able to go to the donut if we don't get there in time.
That was lucky.
Normal voice.
That was lucky. No, it's okay.
Thanks, honey. We're done.
Donut.